Welcome everybody. This is Paint by Number System. This is the insurance edition, and this is the introduction. My name is Brian Anderson, and I'm going to present the basics here to you. And then in the other modules, all of which are short and actionable, you're going to be able to duplicate exactly what we're doing. And we even prove to you how it's working, so you can decide if it makes sense. Everything is laid out for you to just literally plug and play and copy what we are doing. First, what is this whole paint by numbers, right? What is it about? Have you ever said, I just want somebody to do it for me or to show me exactly what to do? Well, don't tell anybody, because that's what we're doing right now. We're giving you exactly what we're doing. Subject lines, emails, voicemails, pricing, quote, proposal, tracking in a pipeline kind of system, everything. There's nothing held back. Everything is disclosed to you. You're able to basically copy. I wouldn't call it a secret, but you could say that we want to show you our secrets, or in my case, my secret. And the only secret is keeping it simple and avoiding the distractions that come when you start to get really worried about all the details, right? And so we keep this down to the simplicity. Building a real business for yourself. Now in the insurance niche, we're going to show you how to find leads, both email and phone number. We're also going to show you how to prospect those leads. We're going to give you 2 funnels to implement. And I'm not going to make it hard. You don't have to go buy ClickFunnels or any of that kind of crap. You're just going to literally emulate what we are doing. We're going to talk to you about pricing monthly and annually. We're going to go into a little bit of sales interaction and discussion, because I know a lot of you like that kind of stuff, and we'll do that. I'm going to show you how to track your activity, because it's important to track it so you can keep up with all the activity. You may say, I've never had enough activity to track. And if that's you, I'm here to tell you that that changes now. And then, if you haven't been tracking your activity, you probably haven't been billing too many accounts. We're going to show you how to bill and how to invoice to keep it as simple as possible. That's it. We're going to give you everything you need. You're going to basically use the same things we're using, put them into place, and close business. It's that easy, you guys. There's going to be obviously there's a Facebook group. We'll do our best to be active in there, but the goal is to not complicate this. And if we call you out, I'm gonna often tell people, stick to the plan and don't make it harder than it is. Now, for those of you that are closing lots of deals, it's okay to add upsells and complexity. But for those of you that are new or getting started, keep it simple. Don't become your own worst enemy. Once again, this is Brian Anderson. This is the introduction. I want to thank you guys for trusting in me and our team. And I guarantee you're going to love everything we show you here. So thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next module. Hey everybody, welcome to the call. This is Paint by Number System. This is our insurance edition, and I'm talking to you about getting a list of insurance agents. So thank you guys for being here. Let's talk through it. We're going to keep it very, very simple. 3 methods, 3 ways, very easy for you to do. First, to get a prospecting list, you got to understand you need this list to land clients. You have to have a starting point, whether it's phone or email. Now, I'm going to want you to have both for the purpose of our system. Now, the difference is there are lots of ways you can get these lists. We'll cover them here. I'm going to focus on email because my Voice Drops team can provide you the phone number list you need. So initially, I want you to focus on getting your email list together. So the easiest, absolute easiest way is using Fiverr. Now, with Fiverr, you can go in and pay somebody. I put a bunch of gigs in the members area that'll generate different ones, 8 or 10 of them that'll be fine to generate lists for you. Very inexpensively, you can say, I want insurance agents in XYZ city. And it's going to cost you a couple bucks, not very much. You could say, I want you to use LinkedIn and generate me a list. You can say, I want you to use Google, whatever. You can specify, or you can say, I just want you to get me a list. You know, really you're having somebody research it. Now remember, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. You just want the best you can get for as little as you can spend. Make sense? So Fiverr is probably your first bet for most of you. Second, you can use scraper software. I'm willing to bet that most of you own something like Lead Kahuna, Local Prospector, or Local Essentials 360, or any of half a dozen or even many dozen other lead tools. So we want you to find the email addresses with the tools. Okay? Now, last resort is you can buy a list. Never the right method. Only mainly due to the price. But you can get decent data. Insurance is is a space where there's just so many agents, so you can get this data anywhere. I think in the case of insurance, this is your last resort. In other markets, this might be a first choice, but not here. Here, this is our last choice. So let me do the example. Let me do an example with Local Essentials, the lead automator tool. I'm going to do a quick search, and I won't let it run that long, but I'll do it for a second, see what we can get. Let's see. All right, I'm running a search on insurance. You can see I'm getting phone numbers, I'm getting contact names, I'm getting some emails. You can see them coming in. Can you guys see them? 6, and it goes. As I go, I can quickly build this list, a couple hundred, in maybe 30 minutes. 10, and it goes, and it goes. And, some are better than others. Like billing at Brand Shelter doesn't make me as excited as that specific one for State Farm there, or that nationwide specific one. And you'll go through them. You'll be able to look at these. So I'm going to let that go. And the nice thing is, I'll tell you, the phone number database doing it this way is phenomenal. But you can build a pretty targeted list fairly quickly. So another option, I know I've showed you guys this before, but I've taught some of you guys this before. Another option is using LinkedIn. Now, it requires you to log into LinkedIn, and honestly, you need to be on a premium LinkedIn account to get the best results. We've kind of been through this previously. So if you're on a paid LinkedIn, you have unlimited searches. So I just did doing a quick search here in Atlanta, insurance agent in Atlanta. You can see different people, right? So let's see, hang on one sec. Let's see, I'm going to go to an insurance agent. Now, there are lots of ways to reach out to them. If they have their contact information on the page here, you can grab it right here. Now, in this case, she does not. But we get her name, and it would be really quick to look her up and get her information. Let's see. There's another guy, Armand here. All right. So same thing with this guy. Pretty easy to find him and pull this together. Now, what I usually do is just pay my VA to do this kind of stuff. Now, what I'm going to give you in the resources section is a message that you can use when we do this. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to hit connect. All right. So now I'm going to decide. You can do any number of choices. So you can say we've done business together. Let's say my company Media Mash, and you can say something like this. And I'll give you this in the members area as well, so you can use it. Hi, Armand. I'm interested in connecting with you to discuss your insurance agency. You can say something like, I have a marketing system designed for insurance agents that is unlike any you've seen. I'd love to chat for 10 or 15 minutes and share our automated prospecting solution. Thanks for your time. I look forward. Not too long. How about this? Thanks for your time. So that would be our message, and we would go ahead and hit send. Boom, got it. So we've talked through briefly a couple different methods, right? Let's think about what we just did. We talked through Fiverr. We talked through Scraper software. I actually showed you it in action, and most of you guys have this kind of stuff. Let's see. All right. Let me see what I can show you here. Let's see if I can jump back. All right, so the options we just went through: Fiverr, Scraper, buying a list, and LinkedIn. Let's see. You can see my scraping software is going like crazy. Good information like Dan Z at 5-Star Insurance Agency. Some of these other ones at State Farm, they have like an address that's automated for the agent. So you can see this one up here at Mass Mutual. You get these guys, or Mag Mutual. You get these two real names. You know, as you go through it, you get lots and lots of names. Honestly, I would always start with just paying somebody on Fiverr to see what they can put together for next to nothing for you. So that's it. It's that easy. What I want you to do is get a list of, let's shoot for 400 or 500 insurance agent email addresses. If you got that, you are in business. Okay? All right. I will see you in the next training. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Brian Anderson here. This is Paint by Numbers Insurance. This is all about client acquisition. Now, remember, keeping with the spirit of Paint by Numbers, we're keeping everything very simplistic. There's not going to be a lot of added details and stuff that you don't really need. So just keep that in mind. First, the overview. So the inbound client acquisition is actually pretty simple. Let's see. Hello, everybody. Brian Anderson here. This is Paint by Numbers Insurance. We're going to talk about client acquisition right now. Keeping in the spirit of Paint by Numbers, everything will be disclosed and everything will be kept as simple as possible. So first, we'll start with the overview. So the inbound client acquisition strategy is quite simple. We explained it already, but it involves a combination of emails and voice drops, which are phone calls, to drive insurance agents to call or email you. So depending on how they were contacted, they're either going to call or email you. Now, in the email funnel, agents will typically email rather than phone call you because it's easier, right? And I've got some sample responses here to show you some of the responses we get back. Now, for prospects in the voice drop funnel, which are the outbound phone calls, they're going to call you back directly. So that's kind of what happens. There's two primary choices here. And we highly recommend doing both, and I'll discuss it in a second. So far, we've gotten, on the insurance side, 37 email in. This is taking out the bad leads, taking out the go-aways. I'm not interested. This is taking out the I'm on vacation or I've retired. So we did have a few take me off the list, but that's fine. Just remove them. Don't even reply. That's all you can do. We, with a scraped list like we have, lots of on vacation or retired even bounce, which is okay. You just want to rule them out and cull the list down to a more manageable size. And it's important that none of you get discouraged. Only focus on the quality email replies. So in our case right now, it's at 37. I'll show you a few samples. This is a gentleman that Sean is working with, and I believe it's Kyle actually, but he actually called and emailed. So in response to our email, he called, but he was so interested he also sent an email. Thought that was pretty good. And this is extremely fresh, keeping in the spirit of Paint by Numbers. Everything is in real time. This isn't old, outdated stuff. This is from October 17th, days ago. Here's another one. Hello, I received your email and would like to discuss further. Please give me a call. This is from Kirk. You can see the subject line there that we already discussed, but Michelle said, hey, this sounds great. Tell me more. Can you send me pricing? Always a good sign when they want pricing. Here's another insurance financial advisor. This guy's in Charlotte. William asks, I'm curious, how does this work? All right. That's 1 day old. Another one from yesterday. Sean, I have an interest. What are the limitations, if any, to the content sales concept of the voicemail messages? What's the cost in financing? Thank you. All right. This is Bob. Ernest here. Good morning, Sean. If it's all possible, would you be so kind to email me the information to go over, as well as pricing for life insurance requests? So he's honing in specifically on life insurance. So that's okay. So here's another one. This is the 7th example I'm showing you, and they're all like this. Hey, Sean, so what's the pricing on this for life or health lead generation on a retail list of, say, 1,000 numbers? Thanks, Robert. So you can see the kind of emails that come in. Now, that's only one part of the funnel. When you think about the funnel, remember there's 2 steps. There's the email and the phone call step. Now, I will tell you that the phone calls produced a ridiculous conversion, almost 20%, about 19%. And 91 phone calls coming in out of 490 odd drops. So all in about 10 days, 91 calls. You can listen to samples of the inbound calls. They're in the members area under resources. I'm not going to play them right now, but you can hear them. Now, here's the email pipe. Okay, we're keeping just for our own interest, we're keeping pipeline of email and phone call separate. You can see the lead-in stage, contact made. We're still talking to them, needs defined. You can see the proposals that are out there, 6 deals at $28,000. And you can see negotiation about $10,000 in 2 deals. And what you don't see is, because it doesn't show it here, is the deals we've already won. So this is kind of the pipeline specifically around email. And right now this is 18 deals of about $100,000 in the pipeline. Now email only. Remember, we also have the 90-something calls that we're working the phone pipeline as well. That's simple, very, very easy to do. So when you think about this from a client acquisition, we've generated in just over a few days 128 new hot leads, in roughly 10 days. Average 400 to 1,000. So we'll call it 397 to 997. That's the average value of the deal, monthly, not annually. That's the average monthly value. Now, if we want to look at some revenue projections, which is something we do here on a regular basis, we always try to map out how much money we're going to make and what do we got to do to get there. So we always use the 1 out of 5 number. So out of qualified leads. Now, we don't do 1 out of 5 out of every call on the planet because that's not real. So if we said we had 128 total real leads, Sean and I always like to discount some that, who knows why, but we discount some off the top. So we're going to get rid of 40. Now we're down to 88. So if you say 1 out of 5 on 88, you're talking 17 new deals. And if we just set a blended rate of 697 to take into account some will be higher and some will be lower, we're looking at $11,800 a month of business. And so we're just working it to knock it down right now and to bring that money in to the agency. That is all there is on the client acquisition side. There's a funnel that involves email, which I showed you, and a funnel that involves voicemail. So I'm excited to share this in the next module. We look forward to seeing you. I will see you on the other side. Bye-bye. Number system. This is our insurance edition. Module is all about pricing and pricing strategy. I'm going to keep it very, very simple. We're going to go over 3 core pricing methods. I'm going to show you some industry examples. And we'll talk through a scenario or 2. Piece of cake. So first and foremost, let's establish a couple things. Insurance agents want, maybe they need leads or appointments. This is the whole lifeblood of the business. Friends and family only go so far. So the vast majority of agents, whether at big franchise company or at independent brokerages, are based on 100% commission pay plan. Now, 3 distinct pricing models will actually resonate with the insurance niche. So let's talk about those. We have flat fee, per lead model, and hybrid flat fee. So with insurance, we're looking to get $400 to $1,200 a month per account. So let's talk about how to do it. The goal is to get accounts at $400 at a minimum for a single person if you just get a rep. If you're talking to the broker, the managing agent, etc., you'd love to piece together a small team. And that $400 would be a smaller rep, more dipping the toes in. Now, we're landing reps at $9.95 a month, and we're not having any pushback. I think we're doing $9.97. But now, larger organizations, you could potentially bundle, creating multiple deals, with several agents there, and get in that $2,000, $3,000, even $4,000 a month range. It just depends on the size of the office. So that's kind of what we're looking for minimum from an insurance guy. So let's look at flat fee. Now, we're doing them in this case, not on a per lead. This is on an X amount of, you're doing activity-based marketing. You're doing this, taking their message, and you're pushing it out to targeted 1,500, 3,500 businesses, whatever, right? And we're creating multiple tiers, 3 tiers in this case, $397, $697, and $997. And you're going to build in things like list creation. So you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to get you consumers that are between 60 and 65 if you're targeting a certain kind of insurance, right? Or call tracking. You're going to give them that service. It's a great value add. Reporting, split testing of their messaging and scripts to see what pulls. You want to stack the value on these so that they truly understand what they're getting. Now, remember, you're filling the top of the funnel like we talked about earlier. It's important you understand this because this is where most sales agents, regardless of industry, struggle. The cool thing here is these guys are able and willing to invest a reasonable amount of money, and it's easy to sign up a lot of agents. So now per lead, other markets have a lower per lead fee. This one, $25, is still a really very fair exclusive lead price. Now I look at an exclusive lead as any real intelligent call over 30 seconds. Use common sense. If it's a sales call or wrong number, just not relevant for some reason, delete it out. So with only 30 calls a month on a per lead model, you're looking at $750. Not bad at all. Let me show you some examples in the marketplace. This is just a vendor that I was looking at. These are shared leads. If you look at auto, homeowner, health, and life, the 4th tier, the red one on the end, is calls, phone calls. These are the most expensive. So you can see between $28 and $45. So coming in at $25. Now these are shared pricing, $28 and $45. Coming in exclusive at $25, it's a total steal because health leads are $35. Shared. Now, there's other kinds of markets. You can get really creative with what you do in insurance. It's such a giant market, giant industry niche, right? Seniors, business, going after businesses, annuities. I don't recommend annuities for most of you. Renters, easy enough. Business insurance at $43, you guys can go after businesses all day long. It's so easy. So this shows you some pricing, right? These are some pricing. Now, then you can mix and match. So on the hybrid flat fee model, maybe charge them like $250, give them 12 leads. So they're getting a deal. Their first 12 leads are about $20 each, exclusive. It's a killer deal. Any lead over the 12 would be billed at $25. Same thing, apply common sense, throw out the sales call, the non-relevant stuff, and bill them the balance based on this. Easy. We talked about pipeline in another module. This is just our email pipeline right now. You can see, 28,000 in proposal stage. You can see we're negotiating on 10,000 a business. You can see the various stages of the pipeline. Very important that you track this stuff. Now, finally, when we talk about pricing, it's important to mention upsells. Now, I don't recommend for the vast majority of you that you complicate this with reputation, SEO, website, etc. Don't go after these things right now. get the business, deliver value, build a client a couple months, and really build the relationship. When you focus on that relationship, you're going to be able to ask for referrals. And a warm referral or two, it's worth its weight in gold. Excuse me. So maybe you throw them a couple additional voice drops or some additional leads, however you want to package it. Maybe you create a volume price for the team, taking care of the guy that kind of, brings them all to the table. Once you've proven yourself and you've added value, grow with other agents sticking with the exact same service rather than trying to add on typical digital products. I'm not knocking any of these digital products. I love most of them, but I think right now, for most of you, let's focus on bringing in the money and doing it month after month and getting a repeatable process in place. And the first upsell strategy you should be doing is asking for a referral as you build that rapport. So with that, I hope you understand kind of the 3 pricing tiers for insurance agents. We talked about the per lead model. We talked about the flat fee and then a hybrid model. Any of these are good. There's no wrong answer. Somebody asked, what are we doing? We're doing a hybrid flat fee or a flat fee here are the 2 that we do. But any of them, including per lead, work just fine. All right, I look forward to seeing you in the next training module. Thank you very much. Hey guys, welcome. Looks like the GoToWebinar speaker was there. Paint by number system, this is insurance, and we're talking about how to track your sales pipeline. This is so important, yet so many people don't do it at all. And you maybe haven't needed it before because you haven't had a real business, you haven't had clients, but it all changed, right? Once you became a part of our system, you have everything you need to actually make money and literally be dealing with clients all the time in a very simplified way. So the whole idea of a pipeline tracking system, you can hear our phones going off right now. It makes it easy for you and your team to keep up with the deals. Now, if you haven't used one before, that means you probably didn't have a real business. You didn't have enough clients to speak of or activity, right? Or maybe you used Excel or slips of paper. Disaster, I promise you. You don't want to do that. They've gotten so simple and easy to work with. So the one we use, especially with our voice drops team, is Pipedrive. So simple. It's all about looking at all the leads you have in various stages, right? And when you look at the stages, you can figure out who you need to talk to kind of move the deal along. One of the things I like is it's so easy to add a new deal. Person's name, a little pop-up box comes up. This is right out of one of our accounts. Organization name, title, the deal value. I give every deal an annual value. And then you pick a stage and a close date. That's it. Drag and drop. Everything is drag and drop. I'm going to show you in a second. Sales reporting. I guarantee most of you haven't been doing sales reporting with any kind of visual analysis of what you're winning and losing. That changes now for the price of a trip to Starbucks, guys. Mobile apps, everything you could need. I don't even use the mobile apps. I use my desktop. Sean may use them. I don't know if he does or not. I'll have to ask him. Email integration. So now, when you email somebody, you can do it right inside Pipedrive, and then it keeps up with the corresponding communication. Before I look at it, let me just tell you how much it costs so you can just realize how cheap it is. I think there's a decent amount of trial, but $10 is probably all you need. $10 gets you the silver. Now, to get the email integration, it's a little slicker. I think they make you buy gold. They do. They make you buy gold. $21. Now, outbound email integration only, you can get it with the $10 level. I don't know what level we have. It's 21 or the 63. I think we have the gold. So anyway, very inexpensive. You can look. You're looking at $10. Okay, so let's spend a second and check it out. All right. I'm in Sean's account. He doesn't know I'm doing this for the video, guys. So first things first, I want to add a deal. You see the green button? Add deal, right? I'm going to click it. Ooh, contact person's name. Let's use my friend. Who are we going to use? Jennifer Jones. Organization name, Allstate. I'm going to Allstate. Community County. Deal value, say $500 a month, 12 months, $6,000. Expected close date, end of the month. You can see the different stages of the pipeline. Initial lead, I would put first contact people here. You've actually, this is when you just received it via email, but you've corresponded, had a phone conversation, you move it to a contact made. You've learned more about their business, defined exactly what they want or need. There's a level of interest, you move it to needs defined. You shoot a proposal out, you put it under proposal made. You're negotiating price, you move it to negotiation started. So let's put this one here, hit save. You can see it right here, you can see how it changed it. But what happens if Jennifer, we start to get a serious conversation? Look what I'm doing. You see it? I'm dragging it from contact made to needs defined. I could drag it down to one loss or discard, but I'm going to drag it to needs defined. Everything's changed and updated on the fly. I didn't have to do anything. Let me move it back so you can see how easy that was. All right. Let's see, what else can I show you? I want to keep it simple. I don't want to go into that section. I'm looking at Sean's pipeline. 20 deals right now, 110,000. What else can I show you? Let's see. Yeah, he's updating things like crazy. He's put in, I can see he's put in 12 deals for 58,000 right here. I can see all his activity. And it's fine if it's my activity or your activity, but it just helps you to understand and kind of know where you're at. But just tracking the deals and knowing who you need to follow up with is like the most important thing you could ever do. All right, with that, I don't want to beat this to death. For 10 bucks, you won't beat this anywhere. Great product. I hope you guys like it as much as we do. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Brian Anderson here, Paint by Numbers Insurance. This is a module about invoicing and billing your clients. I know a lot of you struggle with this, or you haven't had enough clients, you haven't really automated it or set up a system. Now, there are lots of ways to do this. You may use PDF and email, which I don't recommend. You may mail them, which I doubt you guys do. The key is to make it easy for your insurance agent clients to pay you, because this is kind of the whole enchilada. You want the customer to be to be so simple that they pay you when they get your invoice. Because when you do that, your collectibles, your accounts receivables stays pretty low. And what if you could even have an automated collection system where the invoice follows up with, the system follows up with them and you don't have to. So that's why I like the cloud-based invoicing and billing, and there are lots of them. I'm not going to tell you one's better than the other. I'm going to show you the one we use. Like we said, it's very inexpensive, very easy to use. I can't remember the first one that referred me to it. It's called FreshBooks. There are a myriad other products, but this is a big one. It's been around a while. You could, yes, use QuickBooks. You could use Xero, the accounting programs. I find this to be the absolute easiest to use and very affordable. And it's easy for your clients. So based on that, I like this program. FreshBooks is super simple, freshbooks.com. Here is an example invoice, right? easy to customize. You can see our address, voice drops, date of issue, due date, etc. Right? You can see on the right, accept credit cards. I'll talk to you about that in a second. Now, when you do credit cards, let's talk about it. You have a choice of something called WePay or Stripe. They don't let you hook up your existing merchant account unless it's Stripe. If it's Stripe, you can hook it in. Right? So, don't apply for WePay. Let me tell you what happened when we applied for WePay. They approved us within hours, but then about 5 days later, they unapproved us, and they said they didn't like our business type. So WePay is not a good option for you. Stripe is your choice when you use FreshBooks. If you're going to bill inside the system, Stripe is your choice. Cool thing is the product makes it very simple to do one-off or recurring. You literally hit a button, and you can decide very easily how often the invoices are actually created and sent to the client. Okay. Now, I said it was inexpensive. For up to 50 clients, you're looking at $25. $50 will get you more clients than most of you will ever have. So super inexpensive relative to the value of your business. When you think about what would it cost for somebody to deal with this for you, you're talking hundreds of dollars. Now you've got a simplistic way to look like a professional business, get paid online, and remove any headaches from your invoicing, your collections, and your billing. I hope you like FreshBooks as much as we do. Remember, there's other cloud-based systems. This is simply the one we use. Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. Brian Anderson here. This is Paint by Numbers Insurance. This is client fulfillment results. So this is basically where we show you the results we're getting from our outbound script that is in the members area. Because, I can tell you it's good or it works, but I think I have to show you to gain credibility with you. So that's what we're doing right now. So just as an overview, our fulfillment strategy for insurance agents is 100% based around outbound voicemail marketing. There's no SEO, no videos, no emails, only outbound strategic messages. End customers, whether they're consumer or business, will call your agents on the phone directly. Very important. I don't want you to forget this. It's very important to use some kind of call tracking. You can use the one we suggest. You can use any product, but you just need to track the calls. That's how you quantify the value you provide. Now, we talk about this in the pricing, but just as a reminder, you can choose to charge per lead or flat fee, for X number of outbound voicemails. You can price it and package it any way you want. We talk about that in pricing. So this is just showing you results. That's all I'm trying to do right here. So in this one, we did 1,500 outbound messages. This was a combination of, I think it was about 75% cell, landline and 25% cell. So they were aimed at consumers, and we generated lots of good leads. So out of 1,500, let's see how many we had. This has only been a couple days. Now, it's all about the script. The script is key. We test on a regular basis lots of scripts, so we know what actually works. Not what we think works, not what I like the best, or not what sounds cool, or I heard it on a webinar. Everything you see here is 100% real-world tested. No theory, nothing made up. It was made up at one point, and then we tested it. And if it passed muster, it stayed. If it didn't, it's gone. So I'm also, in terms of what do inbound callers say to your agents, we have some samples in the members area for you. I'm not going to put them here and play them for you. I'm going to keep it simple, okay? So here's one. Over the last 4 days, I think. Is that right? Let's see what today is. I have 206 and counting calls. Not bad at all. So remember, that was 1,500 outbound messages, and we generated, where is it at? Here it is, 200 plus calls to the client. Now, of course, out of these, I didn't delete, I didn't delete anything, bad leads. So I always say, let's rule out a bunch, and you make up a number. I'm going to rule out 80 here just to show you the power. I'm going to rule out 80 leads. Now, I don't even think you have to rule out 80, but I'm just doing that. Let's say you had 125 qualified conversations. You close 1 out of 5, you're looking at 25 deals for the agent. Now, I don't know what the value of their deal is. All I do know is that the insurance agents we work with and some of our group work with are extremely happy. So 206 inbound calls over just a handful of days, 3 or 4 days. Pretty crazy, guys. But this is a sample of the results just following our fulfillment, not having to change anything, doing exactly what we show you. Thank you very much.